Hi, I'm Di with Sister Chicks Quilting. Welcome to my channel. Today is my Irish double chain video, and it's going to be good. But first, some business. I want to talk about these right here, my fat quarter baskets. Got a couple of confessions to make. First off, this was the 6th video that I ever made. I was so nervous. Do you know how hard it is to make these videos, you guys? I'm just starting to be a little bit relaxed behind the camera. But I've had so many questions on the same thing, and that is, why don't you use the free arm on your sewing machine the way it was intended to use? I'm answering that now, so if you watch the video, you know, and you won't have to ask me. When I made the video, I was so nervous, sweating up a storm, getting sick to my stomach. It was hard to do, and I actually used the free arm on my machine wrong for the first 3 baskets. I thought, I didn't notice it until it posted, and I thought, you know what, no one's ever going to watch this video anyway. But something's happening, and YouTube is featuring it, and everybody is saying, why don't you use the free arm? Well, that was it. I was just so nervous, and I just goofed up. For the other 8, I used the free arm the way it was intended. The pattern for that, for these baskets, is on my website, and below the video in the description box there is a link so you can download the pattern. Really, it's more measurements and instructions on how I made those baskets. Anyway, I want to thank all of you. I'm giving you guys a thumbs up for watching this video because I've got 24,000 views on it since I've posted it. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. Let's get talking Irish chain now. So, ta-da, the big reveal. This is the Irish chain block. It's actually 9 blocks because, well, just let me show you. We'll take these down. So this is 1 block, and the blocks are 4 inches. They're cut 4 inches, so they'll finish at 3.5 inches. I'm not really making a quilt out of this. I just wanted to show you the basic. It is 9 blocks, and you can see you want them contrasting. So I've got a dark, a light, a dark, a light, a dark, a light, and a dark, a light, a dark. So whatever you do, you want your blocks contrasting. They look really awesome. I've done quilts with some incredible Irish chain blocks on them. When I say done, I mean quilted for people. Here's another example, and this was last week's video, but these blocks were leftover blocks, and they were 2 inches. So as you can see, isn't that a pleasing pattern? You can see a couple of sub patterns in there. There's this big triangle with a cross going through it. Then there's the little white squares. Irish chains are a lot of fun, and you can do them any size for any look that you want. But today we're talking about the double Irish chain. Now you may think, that doesn't look like a lot, but let's get it up on the board so we can dissect this block and you can understand it good. I'm going to go ahead and put this double Irish chain right above this one, like so, so you can see. Now look at the center of this block. You can see that it looks a lot like this block, but there's an extra row all the way around, and that's so you can do double the colors on both sides of the dark. I purposely did a dark pink so you could see just how it was going to look, so you can get a good vision of it. Then I want to put up the block, the white block that goes next to it. What do you think of that? You notice it's not plain white like this one is plain blue. Instead, the corners are full, and that's because you need to wrap a color around all of these dark blocks. So I'm calling this a scrappy double Irish chain. And the reason why it's scrappy is because, as you can see, all of these light pink blocks are different pink materials. And I think it's really effective that it is scrappy. I purposely chose again the dark for the center so you can see it. I'm going to put on my website the cutting measurements for this block as well as how to make this block. Let me show you something up close on this block. Do you see that there's only 2 seams on the sides right here and here? And normally you would have a seam across the top here and here. I just decided it's not going to even show when you get the block quilted. So I saved myself a step and I just put the 2 sides on the block. But again, I will give you all the measurements for these. The hint is I went through my 2.5-inch strip basket and I had a ton of pink blocks. I also had a ton of this print, the dark, and that's how I came up with the pinks, and that's how I came up with the size. So all of these blocks here, here are 2.5 inches. So because they're all 2.5 inches, that makes this block 10.5 inches. So finished, it's going to be a 10-inch block. That is a real easy way to be able to figure out how big you want your quilt to be. And let me show you what I've done so far, because I just have the last row to finish. I'm going to show you how I stitch it up. So this is what I've done so far. It's 5 blocks across and 5 blocks down, and I have 1 more row to put on. So this one that I showed you is going to go right here, and this is one of my white blocks. See, this is going to be really cute, isn't it? With this one going right here. Then I have 2 blocks left to sew, and they're here on my design board. So this is how I've laid it out, and I'm going to show you how to pick up and sew an entire block. Just kind of it's my method, but it makes it easy so I don't miss any blocks. And it takes me 9.5 minutes to sew this block complete and get it to the ironing table. We'll speed it up though. And then there's this block, of course, the side piece. Okay, and the quilt will be done. Let's go to the sewing table. When I sew we're just going to call it the white block, I have these pieces laid out where I know they should be. For instance, this is block number 3, and I write right on the block with my heat erasing pen. I also know that this is my top left and this is my top right. So I'm going to switch them, and I am just going to sew those right on like so. So there you have your block. You just sew these rows together. I don't iron them until the very end, but I nest these seams all the way across without using any pins. There you have it, one of the finished blocks, actually the last one. I'm going to go press it now. Even though the bottom row is not sewed on, I'm still going to go, ta-da! I give you the double Irish chain. I really had fun making this quilt. It's going to be a great gift for a baby or a little girl, and I can't wait to see who's going to get it, because I don't know. The best part is it was made completely from my scraps and a few fat quarters from my stash. So if you viewers like what you see, again, thumbs up or subscribe right below. That would be great. I'd really appreciate it. I want to keep bringing you weekly content. And next week, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be making. I call it my man's quilt. If anybody were more manly, he wouldn't be my brother. But my brother's going in for some knee replacement surgery. And I remember those days. You get so cold from the blood thinners. So I'm going to make him a really nice warm flannel quilt. And the colors are grays and blacks and green flannel. I've found a pattern that I'm really happy with, and I can't wait to show you. So come along with me next week and we'll get that quilt put together. It's going to be much easier than this one, though this one was easy. It did take a little time. The only thing I have a question about, has anybody out there ever put Cuddle or Minky on the back of a flannel quilt? Is it overkill? What do you think? This is what I'm trying to decide what I want to do for the backing. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Until next week, bye. It's starting to warm up here. I hope it's warming up where you're at. Have a great week.